Live. Are we live? I believe we are live on YouTube. We are live on Rumble. All right. Good morning or good afternoon. Hello. Welcome to the Omni Coalition News Show, aka TOCNS. This show is a dive into the weird, obscure, bizarre, and other words for strange world of notable events, weather, and sports, covering topics seldomly, if ever, seen from most news sources these days. Join us! During a time of political overabundance and divisiveness, we present you with more unifying topics to discuss, for the most part. For links to these articles and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. And of course, anything else gathered throughout the show will be added post-live stream. Anyway, I am Aozander, and today I'm joined by...
Golden Loon.
You don't have to be that dramatic. I am the Golden Loon. Fear me. I am the son of Zeus. I have a loud and boisterous voice.
I knew you'd appreciate that.
Anyway, and of course the viewer is, thank you for joining and all that stuff. Anyway, today is Friday Day. Right? Friday Day?
Friday it is.
Yeah, like your days off are just getting me all sorts of confused.
See?
So, yeah.
There you go.
That's not really a high bar.
But we had an opportunity on this day off to go to the Redwood Forest.
We did, yeah. Well, not the one up north, but yeah.
No, in your...
No, don't tell them. Don't tell them.
You were wonderful.
Yeah. Anyway, let's jump into the news today, shall we? Let's start off here from Odyssey Central. Canada. Starting off with Canada, we have a Canuck.
Yeah, Canucks, yeah.
Their feral super pigs are virtually impossible to eradicate.
Oh, I've heard about this.
I have not. Northern U.S. states are preparing for an invasion of incredibly intelligent and highly adaptable super pigs that threaten to spill over the border from Canada. You know what? This isn't the first time Canada and the U.S. has gotten into hot water over a pig. We almost went to war once with Britain because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wow, here we go again.
Right.
Well, because the dang pig kept breaking out, and eventually the guy shot it, and then it started a whole thing, and then military action, and we almost got into another war with Britain over it. Like, it was ridiculous. But anyway, feral pigs have been the bane of North America's flora and fauna for many years now, but a new breed of super pigs is threatening to take the problems they cause to a whole new level. The result of crossbreeding domestic pigs with wild boars. These new feral pigs combine the survival skills of the wild Eurasian boar with the size and high fertility of domestic swine, a combination that is apparently not impossible to control. Not only are they capable of surviving cold climates by tunneling under snow, but they also devastate crops, feed on animals of all sizes, including humans. Pigs have been, especially, like domesticated pigs, there have been instances of them killing and eating the owners. So that has happened.
Well, I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah. There's an incident with a child even once, and got partially eaten. But anyway, from quails and wild turkeys to deer and elk, and spread deadly diseases like the African swine flu and strains of influenza that can affect humans.
Yeah.
So this is sirens, watch out. So, I mean, I guess people living in rural areas.
The way they multiply to eradicate them is almost impossible. The commentary I heard this about, his solution was, let's go hunting.
I was literally just going to say.
Apparently it doesn't make good bacon.
Wow, so they're useless.
I guess so.
So
I don't know that to be fact, but that's my understanding as I recall.
All right, so then I guess this is a this should be like a very rare instance of a good genocide? Question mark?
Well,
I mean, if they don't produce bacon and all they do is bad qualities, then let's just eradicate them. They're a product of human nature anyway,
Well, we don't make good bacon either. And
well, other pigs do not. You're gonna give me an aneurysm.
Yeah.
I live with a troll, guys. From Canada, no less. God. Anyway, let's move on up here. $1.35 billion lottery winner sues mother of his child for telling his parents about the win. What's going on here? The winner of the second biggest, or would it be second largest? What's the difference between big and large? Because a lot of people get the words wrong. I'm going to go with largest.
Should have been largest, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, biggest works, but I think largest is more in context.
Yeah. Anyway, the second largest prize in the history of the Mega Millions lottery has taken the mother of his daughter to court for telling his parents about the win despite signing an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. I really wish they'd get rid of this stupid bar on the side.
Yeah.
The unidentified man, who chose to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. I mean, the man is suing a family member for breaking anonymity, so of course he wants to be anonymous. Claims that his daughter's mother was one of the few people who knew about his lottery win in January of 2023. She was asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement preventing her from spilling the beans to anyone for a period of almost a decade, as a lottery winner considered the best uses of the life-changing prize. But she broke that legally binding agreement by allegedly telling his parents and sister. Now the man wants her to pay compensation of no less than $100,000 per unauthorized disclosure. I mean, it's not about the money, it's about the message, you know? Like, she was signed a legal binding document because he wants, to be left alone. You know? $1.35 billion? Of course he wants to be left alone,
Well, here's what amazed me on the article, and I get the unusualness of the suing for, but 1.35 billion was won by one person?
Yeah.
Is that what they're telling me?
Yeah.
I never knew these things got that big.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
after taxes, you're close to a billionaire.
I mean, the Super Lotto has hit $1 billion a couple of times, and that's the California one.
Really?
Yeah. The Super Lotto has hit $1 billion a couple of times. Mega Millions was the first one. Well,
that goes. Mega Millions goes across the country, right? Not all states, but it goes from shore to shore. So
we looked this up last time, or like one time. What states are covered in Mega Millions? Where to play? What states participate in Mega Millions? 45 states, along with Washington, D.C. and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
And it goes all the way to New York, I believe, or somewhere there, or Massachusetts.
Now, here's something interesting. Alaska, Hawaii, okay, those first two, you'd think, okay, because they're far away. But then Nevada, Utah, and Alabama are the 5 states that the game is not available.
Okay, you don't let them into their state. I understand. Yeah. So everything but 5.
Yeah.
That's across
45 states along with 2 non-states.
1.35 billion and only one winner. Holy cow. Usually when it gets up something like that, you get 10, 12 winners or something.
Sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah, true.
So. But yeah, so like I really wish he wins his suit.
I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. When it gets up to $1 billion, I'm going to have to go out and fork up a couple bucks.
It's been there at least 2 to 3 times to my recollection. Yeah.
I never follow it, so I have no idea.
Well, I mean, like back when I was getting beer all the time, like every now and then I see that they have like the lotto counter and everything. And one time, because like the lotto only goes up to like 3 digits in the millions, they actually had to handwrite a note like 1 point whatever billion dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, it went beyond the counter.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, let's move on up here. Elderly woman claims she has lived on water and soft drinks alone for 50 years. All right, now, here's the thing. And this, I'm going to show this meme here. And this meme in various ways has been floating around the internet for quite some time. I hope to live to be 100 years old, if only just to mess with people by telling them fake reasons why I live so long. Like, every day I eat at least 1 pine cone. So what's stopping this from just being a clever troll? Like how did you live so long? Oh, I ate dog shit like for every dinner.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So I can't believe that. You get nothing out of that. Of course, she had no teeth because they rotted from the soft drinks. But can you imagine what her stools would be like?
I don't want to. Why? What's with you and poop today? Before the show, this guy is giving me details about his.
That was at the payback, and I won't even go into why you bring up. I'll leave that alone. That's not for public consumption.
Well, I guess we all are itched to scratch.
Itchy nuts guy.
Balls itch. It happens. Like, what? Do yours never itch? What, are you above us?
Absolutely, I'm above you. Well, absolutely.
Well, you used to be when you were in Canada, but you're not anymore. Now you're on the same playing field, Mr. Hatman.
You're right there with what I'm excruciating today. Oh, I'm on a roll. I am on a roll today. Let's move on, shall we?
I wonder if natural causes could be a good way to get rid of them. And a good excuse. Anyway, 75-year-old Vietnamese woman claims she has not eaten any solid food in 50 years, instead surviving only on water and sugary soft drinks. Miss Bui Thuy Loy from Loc Ninh commune in Vietnam's Quang Binh province looks in great shape for her age, which only makes her diet that much more surprising. The elderly woman insists that she has lived on water and soft drinks for half a century and that she never craved solid foods. It all started in 1963 when she was struck by lightning when she and other women were climbing up a mountain to treat injured soldiers during the war. She was knocked unconscious, and although she survived, she never felt the same she was never the same after that. She didn't eat anything for days after coming to her senses, so her friends started giving her sweetened water. A few years after being the lightning strike incident, Miss Boy Thi Loy continued to eat some solid food, mainly fruits, because her family and friends insisted, but she never really felt the need for such food. In 1970, she shunned solid food for good, relying solely on water and soft drinks for sustenance. Her refrigerator and freezer are filled with bottles of water and sugary soft drinks. So
I can't buy it.
She's,
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's just wrong.
Yeah, it says here she claims that the smell of food alone is enough to make her nauseous, and although she always cooked for her kids as they were growing up, she never actually ate her own cooking. That's concerning. So,
you gotta say more power to you if it's true.
Never trust a skinny chef. If they can't eat what they make, don't eat it.
How do you're supposed to sample your food?
I know, right?
Chef, make sure you got proper salt and whatever you want in it.
I know, right? So
it all goes to taste.
I mean, maybe it's true, but maybe it's bunk. Chef. I mean, a lightning strike, the human body is all, but, electrical impulses is a huge thing, so maybe it changed her anatomy? I don't know. This is not the first of instances like this that I've covered, especially, with the smell of food makes you nauseous. Yeah. I've covered at least one other story of somebody saying that before. So, about, and it's always out of Asian countries, too, for the most part, these wild stories. So, it's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do we got here? Moving on up. And this is why, I'm a neo-Amish. Smart toilet bursts into flames as someone is using it.
Oh, no! New term for the hot seat.
I mean, I was going to say, I've heard about the Taco Bell shits, but this is ridiculous. And how did we get back to poop again?
Hey, you took us there, not me.
Help. Oh, here we go. A Chinese man barely managed to get off his smart toilet when his bum intact after smoke started coming out the toilet bowl and the whole thing burst into flames. Isn't that what the whole thing? Oh, you should have been there. It caught flames.
New reason for the slang, poop or get off the pot.
Yeah. The Yangtze Evening News newspaper recently reported the story of a man from Xiamen, Fujian province, who recorded his smart toilet burning after a suspected short circuit. God,
he recorded it. He got off the pot and recorded it.
I mean, that's
quick thinking.
This just reminds me of back in the day when smartphones were first started coming out. Back in 2007, 2008, or whatever. And I remember, we have this magic rectangle that has more technology than what was used to send a man to the moon. And I had an app, and I used it that updated on my Twitter account whenever I pooped and details. It was... Oh, my God. Anyway, it says here the incident occurred on November 10th while the man was using the toilet. No shit, pun intended. At first, there was a smell of smoke. Then plumes of white smoke started billowing from the toilet bowl. Oh, they found white smoke. They decided on a new pope? What?
I'm just worried what that final smoke smelled like.
Oh, God. How are we getting through this? And finally, just as the man got up from the toilet, the smart toilet burst into flames.
I'm sorry, just as he got up. Good call, you got up off the pot.
I mean, I wonder if there is any, did he fart? How much? These are normally questions I don't want to know about, but I wonder if that had anything to do with combustion. You know? Well, I mean, methane is, flammable. So,
well, you wonder if he was smoking and farted, and the rest is history.
Well, what I'm thinking of is he's sitting on the toilet. Now there's a seal. He farts. There's a spark. He gets up. Oxygen rushes in. Flames. Oh,
let me record this.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of the physics behind this. So, photos taken by the shocked man show that he didn't even have time to put his shorts on before the toilet. Well, yes.
I love your response. Yes. Well, yes, of course. Let me get in my best.
I mean, talk about.
There's a major flame going on here. That looks like a cake I just saw of someone's birthday.
Oh. And just like his campaign, it's all going down the
Blow out the candles, quick! Blow that thing out.
No, blow out the one candle, the log. Oh my God. I am so happy to have you here. This is the best. This is the best story to ever have with you around.
Oh, stop! Look at that thing!
Oh, look at it afterwards.
Fortunately, we don't see him without his pants on.
I was going to say, talk about getting caught with your pants down.
Yeah. Wait a minute, is that the toilet?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, move on before I die.
Like
oh! Look at the different flames.
Now that's what I call a shitty situation. Okay, let's move on up here. Oh, let's catch our breath, all right? Anybody watching, let's give you a minute, catch your breath. I know for a fact that Loon is deflating like a flat.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Japanese metal manufacturing factory goes viral with banana hammers.
Uh-oh.
A Japanese precision part manufacturing factory recently went viral for its bizarre new product, a line of hammers shaped like realistic bananas. Okay. You know what? You know this. I wonder if the people are going to use these as pant stuffers now. Like, is that a banana in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? It's a banana, and it's hard. Knock, knock, knock. Like, Hiroshima. Based iron factory Ikeda is not your typical precision metal manufacturing plant. They specialize in precision metal processing for creating original products with the potential of going viral online. Over the years, they created all sorts of geeky products, from anime-shaped or anime-inspired robot masks, figurines, and realistic metallic replicas of various fruits and vegetables, from pineapple to broccoli. But their most popular product so far has to be the banana hammer. It has.
Run the banana hammer.
I was literally just thinking. I mean, banana ham, Nick or Mer. Like, you know,
you can go either way, so to speak.
I mean, like, and as I said, you know, in some situations it's hard. So. It has been around for a while, but the company recently launched a new variant, and it went viral on social media again. So, yeah, here we go, the banana hammer, and they even come with a little sticker. In you know,
but there's no flat spot to hammer with.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know, like, you know, a little bit. Like,
yeah,
they have a video here.
Wow, that could hurt.
Showcasing. You just
there you go.
Wham.
摂氏1000度の世界でもバナナで釘が打てます。
Yeah, it's just to go viral. So now anybody watching this can say, like, you know, if you ever get asked the question, have you ever seen somebody hammer a nail with a banana? Why, yes, I have. And I have also seen somebody eat their own head. So I have seen everything. Well,
I'd like you to put out a test, see how many people can get it right. If you watch the news, is it a banana ham? Fill in the rest. Are they going to say hammer or hammock?
Oh, what about
hammock?
What about a banana ham hock? You know? Oh. What else do we have here? This one's kind of crazy. Man suffering from headaches for 5 months discovers chopsticks stuck in his skull.
Chopsticks?
How did they get there?
A nail gun doing that to someone, but... And I've seen pictures of it.
There's been examples of people waking up, you know, with a headache, and there's this one example.
Chopsticks.
There's this one example of this guy. He woke up, he had a splitting headache and everything, and then it continued on or something, and he went and got an X-ray. Long story short, turns out his wife tried to kill him shooting him in the head while he slept, and he survived a headshot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, and the bullet was in his brain, and that's what's causing the headaches.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. So, anyway, a Vietnamese man who's been suffering from severe headaches and even loss of vision over the last 5 months recently learned that he had a pair of chopsticks stuck in his skull. The unnamed man was recently admitted to the Cuba Friendship Hospital in the city of Dong Hoi, Vietnam's Quang Binh province. Pardon me, after complaining of consistent headaches, vision loss, and fluid discharge from his nose. What's with the discharge stuff today?
I don't know.
When asked, the man revealed no possible cause for these symptoms, but a CT scan showed a tension pneumocularis, the intracranial equivalent of a pneumothorax, as well as 2 foreign objects protruding from his nose into his brain. Upon thorough examination, the objects were identified as broken chopsticks. And you can see right here, like there's a chopstick right there in his nose hole, up into his brain, inside.
How did they get there?
I don't know. Let's see here. Let's scroll up. There they are, right there.
Yikes.
Let's see here. Asked about how the chopsticks might have found their way into the skull, the 35-year-old patient was initially as baffled as the doctors, but he later remembered an incident he had been involved in 5 months prior that could help explain the situation. While out drinking one night, the man got into a physical altercation and ended up in the emergency room. However, doctors there just patched him up and sent him on his way. Now he assumes the other man stuck the chopsticks into his skull through the nose, but he doesn't remember actually happening. Well, that would explain it, memory loss. Like, assaulted with chopsticks, and whoever that other man is, I hope they find him and bring him to justice, because this is attempted murder. Like, that's attempted murder. That's assault with a deadly weapon. It's in his brain.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know how he survived it.
Well, it says here, getting chopsticks stuck in your skull is apparently not as rare as you think. Just a couple years ago, this very source here wrote about a similar case in Taiwan where a woman ended up with chopsticks piercing her brain after an altercation with her sister. Yikes. So... anything. So what now? Are we gonna start banning chopsticks because they're using as weapons?
Thanks, sis.
Yeah, gee. Yeah, these are the chopsticks. That was in his freaking head. And look at the size. The thumbs. So can you imagine something this big being up into your brain?
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. Anyway, 30-year-old woman impersonates 13-year-old daughter in class to prove a point. All right, let's see what this is doing. A young mother who went viral for recording herself impersonating her 13-year-old daughter at her school in order to prove a point was recently found guilty of criminal trespassing. Oh, of course. On November 15th, a jury sentenced Casey Garcia to 6 months probation and ordered her to pay a fine of $700 in connection to a 2021 incident where she attended classes at San Elizario Middle School disguised as her teenage daughter in order to show how easy it was for an adult to enter the school. Oh, of course. So she's exposing the problems in our system, and instead of listening to her, we try to punish her. Isn't that just typical?
Yeah.
The mother, who was 30 years old at the time, dyed her hair, put on a skin tanner, and wore a hoodie and face mask in order to pass for her 13-year-old daughter and gain access to the school. She recorded the controversial experiment and posted the video on social media, where it got a lot of attention, but ultimately led to her arrest. People like this woman should be praised at pointing out the problems in her system.
Say where it is?
Yeah, it was,
I don't think it starts off that way.
What?
I don't think it starts off to saying where it is. It's
no, it
middle
did.
School and all that, but I don't think
San Elizario Middle School.
Yeah, that's the name of the middle school, but I don't know where that is.
Well,
that's my point.
Well, we can look that up with a quick Google search, so let's do that.
Well, it's not that important.
Well, you wanted to know. Middle school, Texas.
Okay.
Right there. San Elizario Middle School, Texas.
Texas was a little wiser than that.
Well, the capital is not, and the capitals make the laws, and the capital is a liberal cesspit, so...
Maybe Austin?
Well, San Elizario. The city of San Elizario, Texas.
Okay. No idea where that is. Okay.
Well, wherever San Elizario is.
Yeah.
So, let's see if... Well, let's not dig into it. I don't want to start doxing people.
No.
But yeah.
I agree.
So, what else do we got here? From UPI... Crash covers Ohio highway in chocolate and caramel. Sweet. Well, a stretch of highway in Ohio was closed Thursday morning when a crash involving 2 semi-trucks covered the roadway in boxes of chocolate and caramel. All we need now is marshmallows and graham crackers, and a fire, and we got ourselves a nice little campfire treat. The Ohio Department of Transportation said the 2 trucks collided at about 6 in the morning Thursday on westbound Interstate 90 in Lake County. One of the trucks spilled its load of chocolate and caramel candy into the roadway, prompting officials to direct traffic off the highway. No injuries were reported. Concord fire crews were summoned to the scene for cleanup operations. That's essentially the entire article right there. For whatever reason, we have an hour-and-a-half video here tied in with this, so that's kind of wild. Look at that. Hour and a half and 31 seconds.
Wow.
For an article that took me, all of 10 seconds to read? Okay. All right. What else do we got here? World's oldest living animal celebrates 191st birthday.
What?
The turtle.
Oh, okay. I knew it wasn't human, obviously.
Well, of course. Well, I mean, you're catching up, so. The world's oldest living animal, or land animal, a tortoise named Jonathan, celebrated his 191st birthday on the island of St. Helena, but he might be much older. Jonathan's exact age is unknown, but he was at least 50 years old. Pardon me. When he was brought to the island from the Seychelles in 1882, making him at least 191 years old and possibly much older, according to the Guinness World Records. So, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
They usually have a lifespan of about 150 years, so he's already 50 years ahead of time.
Yeah,
or like
an old timer.
Yeah, very old timer. So, anyway, so let me go off camera here for a second, so I don't. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. So, anyway, more from UPI. Florida newspaper will print your grievances for Festivus.
Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Florida newspaper is inviting readers to submit their grievances for the year and will print the funniest complaints in celebration of Festivus, a fictional holiday from sitcom Seinfeld. The Tampa Bay Times announced the 8th annual Tampa Bay Times airing of grievances, which is open to anyone around the world who wishes to voice their complaints on any subject. The airing of grievances is an integral part of the December 23rd holiday, which also features the display of an unadorned metal pole and feats of strength. The holiday became enshrined in pop culture history after being introduced 26 years ago in Seinfeld's Season 9 episode The Strike. The episode features Frank Costanza, played by Jerry Stiller, explaining the traditions of his anti-consumerism holiday. Hey, this is something I can get behind with. So, interesting.
Hey, Festivus has caught on somewhat degree. A lot of people, happy Festivus. They will, say that.
I've heard that, yeah.
Merry Christmas and Happy Festivus.
I didn't know it was coming from a TV show.
Yeah.
So now I do. So, all right. Yeah, I recognize this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Crotchety old man or something.
Yeah.
So.
He played one of the fathers of whatever his name is, whatever the character is.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, here we go. Florida man seeks 1 million copies of Titanic on VHS. What? And he has a banana hat.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a banana hat, but he has a full head. That's not fair. He's one-upping me. I don't like this. So, a Florida man has amassed a collection of 2,467 copies of the 1997 film Titanic on VHS, and he is aiming for 1 million. Pardon me. The Largo area man. Ooh, Mayor Largo? That makes me... I wonder if he's around there. Identified as JD or Titanic Fan 97 on YouTube, says he scours thrift stores, flea markets, and garage sales for VHS copies of the James Cameron film, and social media followers had mailed him tapes from all over the world. He said he is aiming to gather 1 million copies and earn an unsinkable world record for the largest collection of Titanic VHS tapes. I think he's already there. So,
could be.
Yeah. I mean, is there anybody you know who has 2,467 copies of that film?
Not even close. I don't even know anybody has one.
I think I
may know, I'm just not aware of it.
I might have it on VHS. I think I might have it on DVD. If I have it at all, I'm not sure. So, but, I mean, like, what's his end game? Like, other than securing the record that I think he already has secured.
Yeah.
Now he just wants the numbers.
For whatever reason, he's sucked into it, and he's determined to get 1 million copy goal.
Well, 1 million is a popular thing to say. Oh, 1 million this, 1 million that, Like, it's just become part of words. Anyway, New Yorkers treated to reverse Manhattan Henge sunrise. New Yorkers were treated to an annual spectacle Wednesday morning known as a reverse Manhattan Henge, wherein the sunrise aligns with a borough's street grid. The reverse Manhattan Henge began at 6:59 a.m. local time Wednesday and lasted for several minutes as the sun rose over the city. The event is known as a reverse Manhattan Henge, as a similar effect known as Manhattan Henge takes place in the summer when the sunset aligns with the street grid. Reverse Manhattan Henge happens twice a year, with the next one projected to take place on the morning of January 11th. So let's...
I'm not quite sure what that
means.
Here, living with you.
With the buildings and the streets, like how a Stonehenge, it aligns with the stones and everything.
Okay.
Well,
so
this is
the sunrise shoots down all the streets.
Yeah, it's aligned with the streets. See that? that 10 inch. So, concrete jungle where dreams go to die. Anyway, more from UPI. Mysterious tar balls wash up on New Jersey beaches. Hey, I met somebody in New Jersey not too long ago. Oh, a Jersey girl. Anyway, authorities in New Jersey are investigating the origins of mysterious tar balls washing up on beaches in Long Branch and Monmouth. The U.S. Coast Guard, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, and Monmouth County officials said tar balls of various sizes and shapes have been found along the Jersey shore in recent days, but experts have thus far been unable to identify their origins. I guess we got a situation here. Tar balls are created when crude oil on the surface of the ocean gets formed into balls by wind and waves. The balls are sometimes created by oil spills, but can also result from natural oil sweeps. Investigators conducted a flyover on Tuesday, but were unable to identify any oil in the surface of the water. Beach visitors are being advised to avoid contact with the balls. So,
yeah, we can get on the West Coast here. We can get tar on the beach sometimes. Chunks of tar. I don't know if you call them a tar ball, but they're chunks of tar. And if you step in it, it's a big pain in the hiney.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's sticky, you know?
Yeah, it's gooey, to get it off you. You need some acetone or something.
You know, stepping in tar is the least of my worries, you know, on California beaches. Now I'm worried about human fecal matter and drug needles.
Man, no.
So,
I hope not.
You know, they're everywhere. Anyway, what else do we got here? Indian woman has the longest hair in the world. Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How does she know that, though?
Well, they measure it.
I know, but...
Guinness.
But if someone... Okay, then you have to submit.
Yes. Well,
there could be someone with longer hair that we don't know about.
Well, what does it say right there?
What does I can't
Guinness.
Remember. Oh.
Guinness is involved. So if there is someone who thinks that they have longer hair, they should submit it to Guinness.
Yeah, gotcha.
Now, here's the thing. In order to do that, you have to pay for them to come out to you, or pay for whatever, like, you know, they need money, you know. And
pay to verify it.
Yeah. Okay. So, 46-year-old Indian woman who hasn't had a haircut since the age of 14 earned a world record with her tremendous tresses that were measured at 7 feet and 9 inches long. Wow, her hair is longer than Shaquille O'Neal is tall.
You know what you don't think about? Yeah. You know what you don't think about is how heavy that is.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
You know?
It takes hours upon hours for that hair to dry after you wash it.
If you wash it.
You have to wash it at some point.
I mean, there's some people out there who have very long hair that didn't like dreadlocks. They don't wash their hair. They just, like, you know, do that. And then, you know, that's how dreadlocks are formed. You spit in it and you let the grease and the oils. That's literally how you make dreadlocks. You don't wash your hair.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Move on, please.
Smita Srivastava of Uttar Pradesh, I've heard of that place, who was awarded the Guinness World Records title for the longest hair on a living person, said she was inspired by the long hairstyles sported by Hindi actresses from the 1980s. So, all right. Okay, so cool. And she's not planning on cutting it, so yeah.
No, she won't cut it at this point.
No. But, well, I mean, if it's too heavy, if she gets, you know, old and frail, that might snap her neck, you know. Might have to cut it then. So, but yeah, like, you know, well, cool, you go, girl, you know, keep it up. So, what else do we got here? Sanitation workers dig through 20 tons of trash to find lost wedding ring.
Wow.
Wow.
That's dedicated. It doesn't say, did they find it?
Well, I mean, like, to find, so...
To find, but that doesn't mean you did find
to attempt to find is...
But there's the ring, so I assume they found it.
Yeah, well, like, you know, if the
Let's
wording...
find out.
Yeah, okay. Sanitation workers in New Hampshire were digging through 20 tons of trash to locate a resident's lost wedding ring. Windham General Services Director Dennis Senibaldi said he received a call from a town selectman who put him in touch with a resident whose wedding band had accidentally gone out with the trash. Senibaldi reviewed surveillance camera footage to try to pinpoint the location of the woman's trash. He said his team had to dig through 12 feet of trash bags to reach the right bag. The ring was found about 2 hours after the search began. They said it was the third time in 2 years that his team had sifted through trash at the transfer section to find the lost wedding ring. He said the last time was almost exactly 1 year earlier. Here's a thought. If you cherish this thing so much, then you would take innumerable steps to ensure, like, how to get in there.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
Like, and if it slips off like that, well, then wear another ring. Do something. Bolt it to your hand if you have to. You know? Like,
it's one thing. Okay, yeah, it slips off when you're washing your hands, goes down the drain. Okay, that's one thing. But in the trash,
oh well.
Who knows? Who knows how?
I mean, and look at how small it is. That's no more than a couple grand.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, it's not the value of it. It's
yeah, I get it, but well, obviously not enough for it to wind up in the trash one way or another. I don't care, and for it to happen multiple times, no wonder sometimes trash, trucks, are late, by a day or hours or whatever. Like, you are directly impeding the progress of society as a whole. Go get yourself a new ring, or care about the next one better,
the only thing you don't know is when they found the bag, how did they identify the bag of trash that it was in? It took them.
This is why I keep telling you, everything is connected. Everything you do, down to what bag of trash is yours and when it got picked up.
But how can you identify a bag of trash?
Because everything
is the pink one.
No, because they can identify. Okay, blah blah blah. You okay? What did you throw away? Chips. Identifying. There's ways to figure things out all the way down to that level. I keep trying to tell you that's the world we live in. It's nuts.
Okay.
It's absolutely crazy. They can find whatever they want about you. So, anyway, researchers find witch bottles washed up on Texas beaches. Okay, witch bottles. I've heard about these before. Texas researchers said witch bottles of unknown origin have been washing up on beaches at the state's coastal bend. Jace Tunnel, Director of Community Engagement at Hart's Research Institute for Gulf of Mexico Studies, has found hundreds of unique and unusual items while combing Texas beaches, and this month brought the latest discovery of a witch bottle. Witch bottles date back to the 16th and 17th centuries, when people who believed themselves to be targeted by curses or spells would fill a bottle with objects including iron nails, fingernail clippings, and human hair in an attempt to rid themselves of the dark magic. So it's counter curses, essentially. Mm-hmm. So that's what a witch bottle is. And now they're washing back up. So,
okay.
Yep. All right. And last but not least, from NPR, a sniffer dog helps rediscover a rare mole. Look at that. No,
I like the title.
Holy mole. But look at that. No eyes. They don't need eyes. Yeah. They evolved without eyes. Like, they're not even blind. They have no eyes because they're subterranean.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Like, that's pretty wild. How does one go about finding a seemingly extinct sand-dwelling mole that hasn't been seen in nearly 90 years? Well, with the help of a dog and DNA, scientists in South Africa have rediscovered 11 D. Winton's golden moles, which have not been seen since 1936.
Jeez.
The tiny blind creatures have an iridescent coat and live largely underground. They appear to swim through sand, finding their way using sound and vibration. That helps them avoid being seen from the surface and explains why they are feared to have been wiped out. So go away. So yeah, and that's like kind of like a graboid in Tremors, except they don't eat people. But
that's a big difference.
Well, they still move around the same way.
Yeah, I get it.
That's a big difference. No shit.
Are we back on that subject?
But yeah, so that's pretty interesting. They're rediscovering what they believe to be extinct, all the time, like the coelacanth and all that whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing, why they because they found fossils of the coelacanth, and then all of a sudden they stopped finding it at around a certain era, so that indicates that creature went extinct, right?
Right.
Well, no, because the coelacanth, which is obviously still around today, the fossils stopped appearing because the climate changed, as it does. Climate change is real, but it's just a natural thing. Okay. And the fish went, for whatever reason, wherever the fish went to, the fossils stopped being made.
They stopped dying there because they weren't living there.
Yeah.
They moved on.
Well, it doesn't make whatever sediment, whatever chemicals in the water and the soil, it can move just 50 feet away and things can be drastically different.
Yeah.
So it's really wild. No. But anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just on here on YouTube and Rumble. We are also on BitChute and Odyssey, although because of Odyssey's internal cryptocurrency, we only use that for sparing videos, but we're on there nonetheless. Anyway, for your dose of different, odd, and unusual notable events, weather, and sports, we stream every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 4 Mountain, 5 Central, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
Golden Moon.
And you are, of course, you, viewer. And until you catch us next Friday, or if you're interested in history, we have a history show almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time. We have, what was it? The Edge of Disclosure, Theod, coming up tomorrow at, I believe, 6. Yeah, we have a good show coming up tomorrow. And we have the Peanuts at around 4, I believe. I'm going to have to get into contact with my co-host again, maybe. We'll see. On Sunday. And we have other projects also and everything. Go check out all that stuff. And until you see us again, until that is, whenever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!